All right, here I am at the Thurmond Road railroad crossing in Thurmond, West Virginia. So this railroad crossing right here is another rather neat crossing that I decided to tour while I was on my travels, continuing the trends of touring railroad crossings way outside of Michigan. This one is owned by the CSX New River subdivision, which is a line that used to be owned by the Chesapeake and Ohio way back in the past. And it pretty much goes from many different isolated parts of West Virginia through the mountains, and eventually will turn into the Kanawha sub. I believe that's what it turns into. I could be wrong, and I decided to stop over here today since obviously I'm on my way back from South Carolina, and Thurmond is one of those historic spots that I've been wanting to visit for a while. And since I'm here is one of the crossings right into central town. Now, this crossing right here has a rather interesting setup anyway, as you can see clearly from like the orientation, but I guess all that said, I'll explain as I go on. So with that said, let's get to it. Anyway, sorry about that. There was a train, and you might have heard the rumbling in the background too, which is obviously a good representation of my bad luck, where I just spawn in a train every time I do a crossing tour. So I guess that said, here's the first signal. So for this one, this has a SafeTran base with the Louisville, Kentucky logo. And here's the emergency information, and the dot number is 225342Y. And as you can see, this mast has these side steps on it. And if you look on the mast right here, this has an old C&O dot tag with the same dot number. And for the lights, this has two pairs of SafeTran 12 by 24 inch light heads with Western Cullen Hayes, or actually I think these are Leotech EV series LEDs in them, all sitting on a SafeTran light bracket. Now, these lights used to be in the Cadessa in the past, but I'm not sure when they were upgraded. And this signal has no bell on it whatsoever, but there's some stickers been put on it, such as Train Explainer and Wyoming Valley and Western Railway. So yeah, pretty neat stuff. So that was the first signal. Obviously this ain't the first thing with stickers on it, because there's some stickers over there. But yeah, and I guess to explain here what this track is, not only this is owned by the CSX Blue River sub, but this is also owned by the RJ Corman line that goes through here, the West Virginia line or whatever it's called. And you can see there's a signal there, and there's a transfer job that runs through here, but I'm not sure how often it runs. A CSX to RJ and back, I believe. But yeah, like as I said, here is the second signal, which is a pretty neat one, if I had to say. So here's the second signal, which is not similar to the first. So this one has a SafeTran cantilever, but it's been gutted, as you can see. Actually, let me look around. I believe this is actually a SafeTran cantilever, because if you look around, it has been gutted. The wire mesh on top of the lower deck has been removed. And here's the emergency information once again. And for the lights on this one, for the mast lights, it has two more pairs of SafeTran 12 by 24 inch light heads with Leotech EV LEDs in them, all sitting on SafeTran light brackets once again. And the overhead lights are 1.5 pairs of SafeTran 12 by 20 inch light heads and one SafeTran 12 by 24 inch light head, with all of them having Leotech EV series LEDs in them. You can see the background on that one's bent. And these are all sitting on a SafeTran light bracket as well. And this signal has no bell on it either. So yep, this crossing is completely bell-less. And yes, all these lights used to be incandescent, and this front pair right here actually have Western Cullen Hayes second gen LEDs in them with the Western Cullen Hayes light bracket. Yep, so this is a completely bell-less crossing. I am not sure if it ever had a bell in the past, or it's just been, installed bell-less, but that's that for you. So yeah, that was the Thurmond Street crossing. That was the equipment for it. Here's the relay case right over there, sitting at milepost 251.16, I think, or 25.16. So with that said, let's go to take a look at the track view. Down there is heading east towards pretty much the rest of the line along West Virginia. I'm not sure how many crossings this heads to, because this is like the only crossing within this block. And down there is heading west towards a couple of old, not old signal towers, but it used to be old signal towers that used to be here. A couple of signal towers for the control point that's down there, as well as an old coaling tower and an old post office, historical post office. And there's also an old building. And this right here is once again the old Thurmond Depot, with an old semaphore signal on display too. Transport Products Code to be exact. So yeah, I guess all that said, this was the Thurmond Road railroad crossing, or Thurmond Street in Thurmond, West Virginia. So that's my first crossing tour in West Virginia for you. Has some pretty neat things. And yeah, I'm gonna catch more trains here in a bit since Amtrak is on the way. So I guess that said, over and out.